see many of you on the screen. So I'm going to ask, and I always ask this, for you to use your own self-awareness for our practice today. So if you feel, I often talk about green, yellow, red zones. So if you're feeling in a yoga pose like you do in everyday life, it doesn't feel that much deeper, or it doesn't feel that much different, then I encourage you to go deeper, push yourself a little harder. If you're feeling any kind of sharp shooting pain, if you're like, that's crazy, I can't do this, and you're feeling this like urgent, sharp pain, then back off a little bit. What we're aiming for is our yellow zone, where we feel an increase in the strength, feel an increase in the stretch, but we're in a safe place of joyful discomfort. We feel it be different, but we can still find that true smile in it. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. So let's get started on this 45-minute practice. I'm grabbing a little pillow to sit on for our first seat. I'm going to cross my feet. If it feels more comfortable to bring those out, your feet in front of you, feeling free. We're just going to take a moment to sit here and switch from our day, from the work part of our day into our movement part of the day. So as you sit here, take a moment, maybe close those eyes or look softly at the floor and just feel where your sit bones are connecting with the ground. Feel the solidness of that space below you. Maybe noticing the temperature of your floor. And allow those sit bones to spread out and root you down to the ground. And then from that solid connection to the ground, move your attention up your spine. Picturing those little vertebrae, those little backbones stacking on top of each other like Legos. As your spine reaches towards your ceiling. And allowing the neck and the head to rest on top of that tall, straight spine. And then checking in with those shoulders, that they're just hanging down away from your ears. Your hands could be heavy in your lap. Maybe your elbows feel weighted. And then just take a moment here to do a little body scan. Moving from the top of your head slowly down behind your eyes, checking out your jaw. Noticing any areas, maybe of tension you're hoping to release. Any areas that are wanting to move, maybe they're feeling a little stiff. Making note of any areas of injury or healing you want to treat with compassion and kindness today. This little body scan is our first step to being able to maintain and improve our health. We're learning to listen to our body, hearing its little whispers, so we can continue to be safe and healthy. And once you finish that body scan, let's bring the attention to the breath. As you inhale, feel that chest expand and grow big. And as you exhale, feel the ribs and the belly button coming closer to the spine. And then over your next few breaths, maybe trying to make that inhale a little bit deeper, expanding to the belly. And making that exhale a little bit longer. Noticing how much that breath can move within your body. And then on your next exhale, let's drop the chin toward the chest, opening up the back of the neck. Noticing that sensation. And then on your next exhale, let's move the chin back up. Coming straight forward, and if it feels good, keep bringing that chin up toward the ceiling, opening up the front of the neck. Something we don't really do when we're looking at our computers all day. So feeling that sensation on the front of the throat. And then exhale, let's bring the chin back to center. Then let's exhale, left ear to left shoulder. And if you want, taking that right hand and reaching out to the side, fingers tented, making a little diagonal line to increase that stretch in the neck, if that feels good to you. If it feels too much, if it's in the red zone, bring that hand back to the lap. Releasing that shoulder down. And bringing the hand back to the lap if it's out, and inhaling the head back to center. And then dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. Perhaps reaching that left hand out to the side this time. Increase that stretch in the neck. And continuing to inhale deep. Exhale long. Inhaling your hand back to the lap. Head to center. And then slowly let those eyes open. Take a moment to get used to the light. Now that we've connected more with our body, let's take those hands, and as we inhale, let's reach those arms all the way up, sweeping out to the sides, reaching high. Really starting to open up the side body, reaching those pinkies toward the fingers, or pinkies toward the ceiling. And then exhale, let's bring those palms together, hands through heart center. And then inhale, let's sweep up, out to the side again. And exhale, let's turn the palms outward this time, sweeping those arms down and behind your body, maybe grabbing for your hand or interlacing your fingers, depending what feels good. And then reaching those arms away from the body and pulling the knuckles down. So we're just opening up the shoulders here. Opposite movement from typing, opposite movement from holding that phone. So it might feel a little strange. So maybe you want to focus your attention again on that deep inhale. Long exhale. So you pull those hands down and back. And then on your next exhale, let's release those arms. Let's come off of our sitting position. And we're going to flip around into a nice tabletop here. So in our tabletop, we're spreading our fingers nice and wide, allowing those index fingers to point forward. Shoulders are on, elbows and wrists are lined up. Knees and hips are lined up. We're making a flat table for our back. We're going to exhale, drop the belly, bring the shoulders, the chest through the shoulders, and gaze comes up into our cow pose. And then as you exhale, begin to arch your back just like a cat, pushing the floor away, bringing belly button to spine, releasing that head down, feeling that cat motion. And then exhale, begin to drop the belly down, raising the sit bones up, pulling the chest through, gaze comes up. And then exhale, push the floor away, beginning to arch the low spine, the mid spine up like a cat, releasing the head. Do a few more to your own breath. You don't have to match me or anyone else on the screen. We're just practicing waving that spine, feeling all those little vertebrae moving nice and slow like dominoes. One moves the next one, which moves the next one. When I first started, I felt like I had 3 vertebrae in my back. My back was a little stiff. And I feel like I have about 7. So wherever you are today, you're just slowly waving that spine, inhaling one direction, exhaling the other direction. And then after your next set, we're going to come back to this neutral spine again. Thinking belly button close to spine. So bring that belly button in close to your spine to engage that core. We're gonna inhale. Exhale, let that left hand float up nice and long, reaching forward from the shoulder, fingertips long. Option to stay here. Option to lift the right leg, pushing that right heel back, extending from the heel to the fingertips, making a nice long line. Connecting with that breath. And then exhale, slowly lower back to tabletop. Coming back is still part of the pose. All right, let's try that on the other side. Belly button to spine. Inhale. Exhale, let the right hand reaching long, reaching from the shoulder out the fingertips. Option to stay here. Option to reach the left leg long. Stretching fingertips to heel. Feeling free to look at the ground or down those fingers, yogi's choice. You guys got this. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Beautiful. Let's bring those knees to the side of our mat, big toes together. Sink those sit bones back close to those heels. It's okay if they don't touch. We just want the energy going that way. And then you're slowly going to walk those hands out long, arms long, and you're going to mount the forehead to the floor, maybe to a blanket or a block or a book, into a child's pose. So a child's pose stretches you from the low back, from holding them, bringing those sit bones toward the heels. You feel the stretch in that direction. And then by reaching the fingers and the arms out from the shoulders, you feel that extension on the top part of your back. This can be a beautiful stretch, especially when you've been sitting, if you've been doing some online work today on the computer, laying down and writing in a notebook, just stretches out your body. So inhale deep, exhale long. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna press into those palms to lift the chest and the head. We're gonna walk those hands over to the left side of the mat, just until you feel your side body open up. And then exhale, lower back down. Perhaps you want to think about bringing the right hand on top of the left, or bringing that right sit bone back close to the heel. And if you've found you've gone too far, if you're in your red zone, just back up a little bit. You can move any way you want to stay within that yellow zone, within that safe zone of stretch. And then as you exhale, let's push into the ground, raise the chest and head, walk those hands across the center, and over to the other side, melting down. Perhaps bringing the left hand on top of the right hand if that feels good. Thinking about the left sit bone going toward the heel. Side stretches can actually feel quite intense because we don't move sideways very often. So knowing that however far you're going, you just want to feel that little increase that you know you're doing something different, but in a comfortable stretch. And over time, that range of motion is going to increase as long as we stay nice within that yellow zone. And exhale, let's walk those hands back to center. Reaching long one more time. And then let's walk those hands back toward ourselves. So we're sitting nicely on our knees, just for a moment, nice and tall. Let's take a moment with those wrists. We're gonna bring those hands to heart center. And then we're gonna open the palms up like a book, looking at a book. And we're gonna bring the backs of the hands together, pressing the fingers and the backs of the palms together as we roll those hands away from us and back together. So open the book, bring the backs of the hands together, really pressing them together. Roll those hands down and through. So a little bit of shoulder, a little bit of wrist. One more time. Opening the book, back of the hands together, rolling them through, and coming around. Beautiful. Let's come back into our tabletop. So taking a moment to spread those fingers really wide, index fingers forward, hands under the shoulders. We're going to walk those knees back a little bit behind tabletop. We're going to tuck those toes, push the front of the mat away, and move the sit bones towards your heels as you slowly start coming up into your first down dog. Those knees can really be bent here. Okay, bend the knees a lot. We're going to push the arms forward to straighten those arms, raise the hip bones, relax the head. And then maybe you want to pedal your feet one at a time, feeling your calf muscles, your Achilles, just noticing how they feel today. No judgment. But how does your body feel? Does it feel a little tight? Does it feel maybe a little open today? And then we're slowly going to come into stillness. Those knees can still be bent. Spreading the fingers, feeling the knuckles connect, the fingertips connect. And if you want, maybe you want to release some of the bend on your knees, staying within your yellow zone. We're going to inhale, looking forward. And then we're going to baby step the feet to the front of the mat, keeping those hips high, moving the feet close, and stepping between those hands. Really bending the knees. Let's bring the belly to the thighs. Release the head and the neck so they hang down. Option to let the arms hang or to grab opposite elbows. Releasing down. Inhaling deep, maybe feel the belly expand on the thighs. Exhale long. Belly button and ribs come in. One more inhale. And exhale. Release your hands. Feel your feet connect with the ground, really rooting down. And let's push into the ground with those feet and slowly begin to straighten your legs and roll your spine up. Those arms stay heavy. You slowly roll to a nice, tall, standing position. Beautiful. We can come to the front of our mat, or if you're on your carpet, just make sure there's enough room to step behind you, like a push-up. You don't need a mat to do yoga. Just need a little bit of space behind us. Let's bring those feet together. We feel them root. Let's let those arms come down alongside our body. Feeling the spine stack up, those Lego blocks of our spine stacking on top of each other, resting the head and the neck on top. And then inhale, let's sweep those arms forward and up, reaching those pinkies high, gaze can come up. And as you exhale, let's slightly bend the knees, reach forward, hinging at the hips. Oh, I might run into my fridge, so I'm gonna bring my hands together, heart center. And then forward fold all the way down. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands beside the foot, and let's step back with the right leg, nice and long. Feeling those toes curl under, push the ground away, and I'm gonna drop my knee. We're gonna do 2 rounds of this, so if you wanna do it with the leg up, you can. I'm gonna demo with the leg down for this first round. I'm gonna find my balance, bring my hands up to my thigh. Option to stay here. Option to sweep those arms forward and up. Really thinking about reaching those pinkies toward the sky. We're doing a lot of overhead hand and shoulder movement today. Because again, we want to counter all of that typing, all of that writing. We want to remind our shoulders that they move in this direction. We're going to inhale and then exhale. Bring your hands down beside the foot. We're going to bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Maybe the fingers are tented, and then we're going to open up into a twist. So we're opening up toward the left side. Gaze can be forward or up at the hand, depending what works. And then exhale, we're gonna come down, plant the hand. And then we're gonna step back to plank. I'm gonna start with plank on my knees for this first round. Think belly button to spine. Really pushing the ground away, straight elbows. And then as you exhale, let's keep the elbows in. We're gonna lower all the way down to our bellies. Beautiful. We're gonna take your hands, you're gonna walk them off the mat, tent the fingers like spiders. Press those feet into the ground. We're gonna inhale. And as you exhale, raise your upper back and your head. Gaze stays down. Exhale, lower. Ooh. Inhale, raise the chest and the head. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bring those hands in alongside the chest. Tuck those toes, and you can come through tabletop and then back to down dog. Evaluating your own body. If you want to do tabletops instead of down dogs, then that's what you do today. You do the choice that works for you. So whether you're in tabletop or down dog, let's really spread those fingers, feel those knuckles and finger pads connect with the ground. And let's bring that belly button in toward the spine. Feeling that deep inhale, long exhale. Let's look forward. Bring this right knee into the chest, floating forward into your plank. And then let's step this right foot between the hands. If you need to help it along, help it along. Step the left foot forward, forward fold. And then inhale, sweep those arms forward and all the way up, reaching high. And then exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Melting down just like toffee. We're gonna inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. Let's step back with the left foot this time. Lowering the knee down. We're gonna bring the hands onto the thighs. And if you choose, sweeping those hands up. Reaching away. Reaching those pinkies toward the ceiling. And checking in for those straight elbows. So if your arms are kind of hanging, think about extending them. Make those arms work. And then as you exhale, let's bring those hands on either side of the foot. This time the left hand's gonna sit below the left shoulder. We're gonna inhale, twist the other direction. Gaze can be forward or up at the hand. Exhale down. Spreading those fingers, stepping back to plank. I'm doing plank from the knees. Belly button to spine, really push the ground away. And then as you exhale, let's slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Bring those fingers out to the side like spiders. Nice wide cobra. Inhale. Exhale, rise. Lower down. Woo. You can do that backwards. This time we're gonna inhale to rise. Upper back and head. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Some of the hardest points of being a yoga teacher is remembering the inhale and exhale. As long as you're aware of that breath. Let's bring those hands into our sides, tuck the toes. We're gonna push ourselves back to a tabletop and then into your down dog. Feeling those fingers and knuckles press into the ground. Belly button to spine, we're gonna inhale, looking forward. Let's bring the left knee into the chest. Float forward into plank. Look for the space between the hands and bring that left foot there. However it needs to get there. Bring the right foot forward, forward fold. And inhale, let's reach on up, reaching high. Hands through heart center and by the sides. Taking a moment here to feel the breath. Just getting acclimatized to our time here. We are going to now open those eyes. We're going to inhale, sweeping our hands forward as our sit bones come back into a nice little chair pose. So you're feeling from your hip down your side body, out your arms, sitting back. And let's take a moment, look for those toes. If your toes are hiding, let's move the sit bones and knees back so we can see the toes. Beautiful. Now inhale, let's lift those toes up, toes to nose. And the funnest part of my class, or the most challenging, let's try and put those big toes down all by themselves. This can be really difficult. I'm still working on having my right toe respond to me. If you're one of the few that find this easy, try working on your index toe. And then exhale, release all those toes to the ground. Forward fold. Woo. Let's plant those hands. And then we're going to step back with the right foot, pivoting the toes toward the side wall, bending the front knee. Let's cartwheel those arms up into our warrior two. So take a moment here with this spread. If you're hanging up here and you're like, this doesn't feel much different, you're in that green zone, I want you to widen your stance. If you're so wide that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't stay here, then I want you to shorten your stance, finding that place of work. Let's check out the back arm that's hanging out down here, bring it up so it's parallel. Let's bring the gaze over the front arm, reaching those arms actively in both directions. Gazing over the front fingers, being that strong warrior. And then let's inhale the palms up. Keeping the front knee back, let's begin to arch up to a sun warrior. So the front knee stays bent. We're going to tilt our body, bring our gaze up to the ceiling. Feeling that deep inhale, long exhale. And then let's come back to our warrior two, moving mindfully. Then we're going to cartwheel those arms down beside our foot. Step the back foot in about halfway. Then we're going to walk these tented fingers about 6 inches in front of our foot, our front foot. We're going to flex the back leg and bring this leg up. Nice long line. Now here, if you're feeling pretty good, you can decide to start to bring up those arms. Maybe you play patty cake a bit with the floor, or you bring them out just like an airplane. Woo. Finding that space on the floor that doesn't move. Been doing yoga for a while, you can find your warrior three with your arms coming to the front. If you wobble, if you fall, just try again. Yoga is all about the practice, all about having fun. Some days our balance works, some days not so much. Your arms are up on the exhale, let's bring those hands down. Bring that back leg to the front. Bend those knees, forward fold. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up, bring all the way up. Hands to heart center, by your sides. Close those eyes. And just take a moment to feel the difference between your left side and your right side. Now that you did that sequence only in one side of your body. Just noticing what that balancing, that active stretching and strengthening did there. One of the best times to notice the effects is when you're halfway through a sequence. And on your next inhale, let's reach those arms up nice and high. And then we're going to sit back into that chair pose just for a few moments. Check out those toes if you can't see them, move the sit bones back. And then exhale, let's forward fold. This time we're going to bend the knees, plant the hands, step up with the left foot nice and long like a lunge. But then we're going to pivot those toes to the sidewall, bending the front knee, cartwheeling up those arms. to a nice strong warrior. So today we're focusing on the arms. So checking out that back arm, making sure it's up parallel with the shoulder, and bringing the attention back over the front. Reaching long, just like someone would be tugging at you in both directions. And we're gonna inhale those palms up and exhale, let's lean back to Sun Warrior. I have not been outside yet today, but I hear it's 24. So what I'm doing today after work, going for a walk. I'm gonna inhale, exhale, coming back to Warrior Two. Nice strong warriors that we are. We survived winter. Now we get to enjoy the sun. And then exhale, let's cartwheel those arms down beside the foot. Step in about halfway. Let's tent those fingers, bring them out about 6 inches in front of our foot. Lean forward, begin to lift up the back leg. I like to flex my foot, pushing against an invisible wall. And then here comes the fun part, let's try and fly. So I encourage all of you, even if you're just picking up those fingertips a little bit, just try and find some newfound balance. Maybe you want to find your airplane or your Warrior Three. I can't Warrior Three on this side, otherwise I'll crash into my fridge. That's just the reality of living at home. But the whole point of balance poses is just to have fun. Smiling a little bit, allowing your body to practice recovering from these weird little balances. Woo. And then let's bring those hands down. Back leg comes to meet the front. Again, bend the knees, forward fold. Feel those feet connect to the ground. Inhale, sweeping those arms up and forward. Exhale, hands through heart center. Hands by the sides. Standing tall. Feeling that breath. Whew, I'm used to teaching an hour class, so just watching our time here. Let's try a little bit of a tree. So let's open those eyes. And before we start, let's play around with our balance a little bit more. Let's move our weight into the heels. So as you rock back, maybe you feel it right away and you're a little wavy like me. Just notice how your feet feel when your weight's in your heels. Where do your feet want to grip or relax? And then come back to center. And let's move the weight into our toes, maybe rising up high, feeling the balance in your toes and your toe pads. Maybe also stretching your calves a lot. My calves are really tight, so I like this. And then exhale, coming down. And let's lean over to the left, leaning Tower of Pisa. Noticing where your feet want to grip and release. And let's move to the other side. The other leaning a Tower Pisa. I don't know which way the actual leaning tower leans, but we'll just embrace that, lean to the side. And then come back to center. Take a moment to close your eyes, maybe wiggle those toes. And see if you can now find a place where your feet are evenly spread out on the ground, where you feel equally rooted with your big toe mound, your pinky toe mound, your heel, your toes. Feel that strong connection in the feet. Let's open those eyes. Let's move on to the left foot. Get the left foot really heavy. Right foot gets light, almost like you can bend it up. We're going to open the right knee to the side, which is actually moving from the hip. The knee comes out, the hip's allowing the movement. And you can tuck that heel right above the ankle so those toes are still touching the ground. Or you can bring your foot into your calf. Ooh. Or you can bring your foot into your thigh, yogi's choice. You're really going to feel the foot and the standing leg press into each other. You can bring those hands to heart center. Perhaps finding that spot in your house that doesn't move. So maybe not the screen, maybe a picture or a lamp. And if you're feeling pretty sturdy, you can begin to grow those branches. Again, if you're wobbly, if your forest is windy today, just getting back in. With our balance, we just want our body to get used to recovering. Because with uneven ground, we're through the ice season now, we just want our body to have some practice when we're knocked off balance a little bit. All right, slowly bring those palms together. Bring them back to center. Remember, getting out of the pose is just as important as getting in. Let's release the leg, maybe bring the knee up to the chest. Set that foot down. Take a moment, shake it out. She's pretty fun. All right, let's close those eyes. Let the right leg get heavy this time, the left foot gets light. We're gonna open from the hip to have the knee come out. And finding your tree leg, whether that's the heel just above the ankle, the foot into the calf or the thigh. Feeling that solid rooted connection with the foot. And then in your own time, once you're feeling balanced, if you choose today, you can grow those branches. Woo. Bringing those arms out. And perhaps lifting the corners of your mouth up, finding that smile. Sometimes a room full of trees looks very serious and I can't see your guys' faces. Most of you have your screens off. But I hope you can find a little bit of a smile as we move together today. And then let's slowly bring those hands together. Bring those hands back to center. We're gonna inhale, release the foot. Bring the knee up to the chest. Let's set it down. Wiggling those legs. Good balancing, everybody, no matter how you did today. Be proud for moving your body in different directions. Let's take a wide stance. You can go sideways on your mat, maybe. So your feet are slightly wider than hips. We're gonna do a little squat. So those toes are gonna turn out. Heels stay in. Let's inhale, reach really high. Again, expanding that side body. And actually, before we go down into our squat, we're gonna drop the right arm. Inhale, reach, and exhale, side bend. Ooh. You don't do side bends much, so making sure you're staying within your yellow zone so you don't overdo it. But you are reminding your body, hey, I can move this way. Inhale, let's come up. Bringing both arms up. Exhale down the left side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, side bend. I think the most important thing, we're just doing both sides. So if my right and left don't line up with yours, just trying to remember we do everything on each side of the body. So we can help it remain or stay, get a little bit more symmetrical. Inhale up. Our bodies are not always symmetrical. My massage therapist always knows that I'm right-handed, always. All right, let's bring those palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. And as we begin to come down, those knees contract over those toes. We're gonna come down in our squat. So maybe you wanna stay high or move to a little bit of a lower squat. You choose where that works for you. And I want you to engage your feet and do like a mini rise, maybe a couple centimeters, and then come down again. So what we're doing with this work in the feet is we're reminding ourselves that we're not just passively sitting in our squat, staying engaged, building some strength here. One more. Beautiful. We're going to bring those hands down onto our sit bones. We're going to bring those hands behind our hips, fingertips toward the toes. We're going to sit nice and tall. So here's a nice curved spine. I want you to think about nice, tall back. Chest forward, belly button to spine. We're going to squeeze the legs together, point the toes into the ground. Now you can stay here if you like. This is definitely work. If you want, you can bring your arms out forward. Those toes are still pushing into the ground. And then if you'd like, you can begin to let your weight bring you back so that the toes lift and float. This is balance and its core and some hip flexors. If you want, you can extend those knees a little bit. Woo. You can also make them straight if you don't lose this straight spine. If I straighten mine, I tend to curve. So I'm going to keep mine nice and bent like this so I can keep my tall spine. And then checking with that breath, can you inhale here? And exhale. Now we're slowly gonna come down. Bring those hands behind the hips again. We're gonna spread the fingers, walk the feet just slightly wider than the hips. Feel the feet connect and the hands connect because we're gonna push into the feet and the hands. So we're gonna inhale, exhale, push into the feet and the hands to raise the sit bones. And then let's activate those butt muscles and raise the hips up into a reverse tabletop. Pushing the ground away with the feet and the hands. I really feel this in my arms. Some people really feel this in their butt. It just depends on your body and what you do every day. Wherever you are, I just want you to feel that breath though. Can you inhale deep? Exhale long. And we're slowly gonna come down. And then we're gonna walk ourselves down onto our back. You're gonna reach those arms out wide in a T if you have room. Or you can do cactus arms if you have less space, so bending at the elbows, hands come up like a little cactus from Texas. We're gonna bring those legs together, knees come up, shins go out at a 90-degree angle. We're gonna inhale, and as you exhale, we're gonna let the left legs fall over, both legs fall over to the left side. And we're gonna come all the way down, so it's a little bit more passive. The legs can separate if that feels good. And then we can gaze up at the ceiling or over the right-hand side, feeling that twist. And if you know any other twist variations that you prefer, feeling free to take those. This is your practice. I'm just here to guide you. And then just this time, let go of control of the breath and just notice how your body wants to breathe. Maybe noticing with curiosity how that breath has changed throughout our practice. So you've strengthened and stretched. Then we're going to inhale our head back to center, knees and hips back to center. And then we're slowly going to twist toward the right side. First, getting the knees down, allowing both shoulders to feel weighted toward the ground, and bringing that gaze over the left side. Perhaps noticing with curiosity, maybe one side feels a little bit more open than the other. I have this tendency to slouch in my office chair, so twisting both ways I think is very healthy for me. Helps work that out. I'm working on my posture over time. Just allowing those shoulders to feel heavy. And we'll inhale those knees back to center. Gaze and hips back to center. And then we're going to bring those feet down. Ooh. And I'm going to bring my feet out long, heels to the corners of the mat. I'm going to bring my arms alongside my body, leaving some space between my body and my arms, having the back of my palms feel the ground. Slightly tuck your chin into your chest to find a resting spot for your head. We're not going to be here long. You can choose to stay here in Shavasana as long as you want once we're done our practice. But since we have such a short time together today, what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of clench and releases just to start to practice learning the difference between noticing that tension and release in our body. So as you inhale, I want you to make some fists, point those toes, squeeze your muscles, tighten everything up. Maybe you're shaking. And then exhale, release. Open those palms and release those feet. Notice yourself melting into the ground. Let's try that again. Inhale, begin to clench those muscles. Really tight, pointing those toes, making those fists. Really clench. This is tension. And then take that exhale and release it all. Allowing yourself to melt and sink into your mat. Observing how much more space your body takes up on the mat when you release. How nice and soft that feels. Now, if you're wanting to stay in Shavasana longer after our practice, feeling free to stay here. You don't have to sit up with me. It's your choice. But if you'd like to begin thinking about sitting up, let's wiggle those fingers and toes. Rotate those wrists and those ankles. Then reach those arms up overhead, stretching fingertips to toes, making yourself super long. Releasing with an exhale. Planting one foot on the mat, and then the other. And then let's slowly roll on over to our side body. Just staying here for a moment. Your arm can be a pillow. And take this opportunity today to think of one thing you are grateful your body can do for you. Take a moment. And then take that top hand, press it into the ground. Let's slowly come up, head comes up, relax. Find your comfortable seated position. Keeping those eyes closed just for a moment. Feeling the sit bones connect, the spine grow tall. And just take a moment to do another little body scan behind those eyes, jaw, the neck. Observing how today's practice changed your body. Perhaps increase the time between your thoughts. And we'll bring our hands together at heart center. And take one great big inhale through the nose. Release through the mouth. Long breath to let the practice go. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday lunch hour. It's been fun. I hope you come back next Thursday, share it with your department. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. Namaste. There you go.